And in government IT, this is one of the challenges. Usually, there's not a whole lot of organizational goals that they will lay out in front of you. Okay, they don't want to put something out there that somebody can then say, well, you put that as a goal, you didn't meet it in the time, and use it in the next campaign or something like that. So when you ask them to publicly come in and support and provide that executive support on certain projects, they are a little bit reluctant to do that and make it in a big way. So they'll kind of keep it low key. So that's one of the organizational challenges with government. All right, and then there's also the cyclical nature of government. So you might actually convince your executive management, your directors, to support an initiative, and then election comes about, right? And there might be a new director, and the chances are, they will reevaluate every project that's going on and decide whether they want to move on with the project. And if the project used to be a signature project for the previous administration, well, the chances are you're not going to be making a whole lot of progress on that. So those are some of the challenges you have. So what you have to do a lot of times is you want to try to complete your change and implement as much as possible within those cycles, so that you're not left behind with a incomplete project or execution. Finally, innovation. Everyone, I am sure, wants to innovate, right? We want to be innovative. We want to provide solutions for the customers. But innovation takes time. Innovation is risky. So you might try to, try new things, but then you might fail. That's part of the cost you pay, right, when you try to innovate. And you should be willing to pay that cost. Now, in state government, one of the questions I ask myself, and also, I know others are asking, is how much of that innovation should be something I should do personally? Again, if you're in IT, I know there's a lot of egos going on. There's not a single thing we feel that we cannot achieve, right? But why can't we use innovation that's already available in the market? So I have three areas of types of innovation that goes from a continuum from incremental innovation to disruptive innovation, right? So what kind of innovation should we use? So these are all the kind of questions that come about, and you have to have answers for those. So here are the inflection points for IT within OBM. Okay, we had retiring workforce, newer workforce expectations, a tech-savvy user base, faster time to market, and then I want to put in competing cloud-based services. So when you come in and the customer wants a CRM tool, let's say, and you tell them, well, it's 8 months to 10 months to implement something, they'll say, hold on a second. They Google it. Here's a SaaS-based tool that's available, and they say it's only this much, and I can go live in a month. What's going on, right? So the customers look at that innovation, and they are actually asking questions, and they are challenging, which is part of changing the system. So what is our strategy? Well, this is the strategy we decided. We're going to focus on the business process. And there are various reasons for it, but I'll go through those reasons. But we're going to make sure we focus on that business process. All right? Now, I put in this slide because we always want to get from place A to place B when we are driving, but we all know the distractions that happen, right? A lot of these due to technology, but other due to food and other things where you're distracted. We have same kind of distractions at work too. When we want to achieve some goals, but guess what we end up doing? We end up spending a lot of time managing infrastructure and operations, right? Now, I'll take State of Ohio, for example. State of Ohio spends about $850 million in IT every year, okay? Now, 70% of the time, by estimates, is spent on infrastructure and operations. Okay? So the example I have here is how many organizations have a phone division within the organization today. Now, when phones were new, there were a lot of organizations that had a division that was responsible for telecommunications, right? And they had a phone division. Now we kind of expect the telecommunication carriers, they will take care of the phones. We are just going to be a user for it. Okay? Well, servers and storages are there. Virtualization has made it very easy for, to spin up a new server, and there are a lot of providers for servers and storage. But guess what we end up doing? We spend a lot of time worrying about servers, storage. Now, those are very interesting. I come from an engineering background, so it's very interesting to set those up. And I have 2 data centers, and it's fine to maintain them and other things. But the time I spend on those areas is distracting me from actually improving the actual process that we need to improve, which is one of our goals for IT. And then another thing is customizing an existing tool. Using a pickle jar to drive a nail. Now, if you, I don't want to name a vendor here, but let's say it's a Seattle company which has a product that starts with S. Okay, it's a really good tool. We like it. Okay, but when it's easy to do something in there, when let's say the user interface is easy to build in that tool, we end up let's just spin up a user interface using that. We build applications through it, right? But then the users come back and say, well, we need a workflow. Now you spend a huge amount of time, retrofitting it with a workflow. And then finally they say, well, I see the workflow, but I need metrics out of it. Now you're spending, even more time trying to come up with reports, and metrics out of this thing. It's not designed to do that. So it is important to find the right tool that will help you look at your process instead of just selecting something or going with something you have and spending a lot of time trying to customize and spin your wheels using the tool. And finally, focusing just on automation and tools without looking at process changes. Regardless of how you get to this stage, if you have a broken process, the only way you can fix that process is by first fixing the process. Okay, if you automate it, guess what happens? You'll have a broken automated process. Everyone knows about this, but guess what? First time people contact IT, what do they ask for? Hey, we have this thing, can you automate it? That's why they call IT. They want to automate something. So it took 6 months for you to get a reimbursement in the old system. Guess what? It will take 6 months in the new system, but you'll also get some email alerts. It's pretty cool. You can click on it and then approve it. It'll be on your mobile device, it'll be on your iPad, but it'll still take you 6 months to get that check back. Okay, is that real improvement? So it is really important not to just focus on automation and tools. You want to also look at how you can improve the process. Now, part of the effort could be to use the automation to figure out where the issues are, and then go ahead and fix the process. But if you don't roll back and fix that process, you're going to have issues.